A very good morning to you all students. So students, biology in your first term exam only two chapters will come, that is fundamental unit of life and tissues. So tissues chapter I have covered before your PT1 assessment till plant tissues. Whole of the plant tissue was covered, and I also explained you epithelial tissue. Okay, but today I will revise again that epithelial tissue with you. Okay, so we will continue with the same chapter, that is tissues. Okay, now see here in this book you can see animal tissues are of four different types: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue and nervous tissue. So epithelial tissue again is of four different types: squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium and ciliated epithelium. Okay, so rest we will discuss later on, but since we will discuss about epithelial tissue, so I just want to tell you that epithelial tissue is of four different types: squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, glandular epithelium and ciliated epithelium. Now please open page number 73. So animal tissues. Okay, so epithelial tissue I have done till here. I have completed epithelial tissue with you before your periodic assessment 1, but you got a gap of 1 month, so again I will explain you. So students, epithelial tissue, it forms the covering of the organs. Okay, the covering or protective tissue in the animal body is epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue it forms the covering of the organs. So that it means it's a protective tissue. It protects the inner tissues. So epithelial tissue is that. Epithelial covers most organs and cavities within the body. Okay, so it forms like organs, it forms the outermost covering, and in cavities, now cavities, you know, like suppose this, you can say this is a cavity. Here you can see cavity, so here this epithelial tissue is present. Okay, here in the lining of the cavities, and in organs it forms the outermost covering, so it is protective in nature. It also forms the barrier to keep different body organs separate. Yes, if it is the protective covering of the organs, if it forms the outermost covering of the organs, then definitely it separates two organs. Okay, so the skin, the lining of the mouth, the lining of the blood vessels, lung alveoli and kidney tubules are all made of epithelial tissue. So all these organs has epithelial tissue, but different types of epithelial tissue. I told you epithelial tissue there are different types. Okay, so there are certain characteristics of epithelial tissue, and there are different types of epithelial tissue. Means these different types of epithelial tissue will have the common characteristics, but they may have one or two additional features. Epithelial tissue cells are tightly packed and form a continuous sheet. That is easy only. So the cells are like this. Suppose this is a cell, so these cells are tightly packed. Okay, now this is, suppose let me say this is a nucleus, so the cells like this are tightly packed, so it forms continuous sheet. Now suppose if there is a space between the cells, then it will not form continuous sheet. But in a epithelial tissue, one very important characteristic feature is that the cells are tightly packed, so it forms a continuous sheet. So it's a protective tissue which forms the continuous sheet over the organs or in the cavities. It lines the cavities. Now another thing is this, since if the cells are tightly packed, there is no intercellular space, and the cells are tightly packed by some cementing material between the cells. Okay, they have only a small amount of cementing material between them and almost no intercellular space. Obviously, anything entering or leaving the body must cross at least one layer of epithelium. As a result, the permeability of the cells of various epithelial plays an important role in regulating the exchange of material between the body and the external environment, and also between different parts of the body. Very easy. Now you know that this epithelial tissue, it forms the covering of the organs, protective covering of the organs. It is also present in the skin. Okay, epithelial tissue is present on the skin, but different type of epithelium, that is squamous epithelium. Now you know, suppose if it is present in any organ, or suppose if it is this epithelial tissue is, suppose this is skin, suppose this epithelial tissue is present in the skin. Okay, let me say, suppose it is present here in the skin. So what is this? If anything tends to enter inside the body or tends to leave the body, they have to cross this layer of epithelial tissue, whether it's a single layer or whether it's many layer. But if it is a single layer, then also the substances, if any substance tends to enter or leave the body, they have to cross this epithelial tissue. And you know, these cells, they contain semi-permeable membrane, and this semi-permeable membrane is selectively these cells contain plasma membrane or cell membrane, and this cell membrane or plasma membrane is semi-permeable, so it allows certain substances to enter. So it means that all the substances cannot enter the body and all the substances cannot leave the body, because they have to cross this layer of epithelial tissue. So it is permeable. It is selectively permeable. It allows certain substances to enter or leave the body. And even in case of organs also, suppose this is one organ, suppose this is another organ, and here lies the epithelial tissue. Here lies the epithelial tissue. So, okay, suppose these are the organs. Suppose these are, I am just showing by this circle, okay. These are the organs. This forms the outermost covering of this organ, it forms the outermost covering of this organ. Okay, now from substance, any substance cannot leave the cell, because they have to cross this layer of tissue, epithelial tissue, which consists of cells. You know, cells have cell membrane which is selectively permeable, so only certain amount of substances can leave the cell or can enter, can leave the organ or can enter the organ. Okay, that is the meaning of this. Regardless of the type, all epithelia is usually separated from the underlying tissue by the extracellular fibrous basement membrane. Okay, so the tissues, they are separated from other tissues, underlying tissues, by basement membrane. I will tell you what is basement membrane. Just 1 minute, hold on. You can see here, this is epithelial tissue, this is columnar epithelium. As I told you, there are different types of epithelial tissues. So columnar epithelium is one type of epithelial tissue. So you can see this. Now this is epithelial tissue, and below some another tissue is present, maybe muscular tissue is present. So this epithelial tissue and let us say muscular tissue, they are separated from each other by this membrane which is called as basement membrane. I hope it is clear. Now students, there are different types of epithelial tissue. First is squamous epithelial tissue. Squamous epithelial tissue. Now this squamous epithelial tissue, it is like this. It consists of these flat cells. Okay, squamous epithelial cells are extremely thin and flat. The cells are very thin and the cells are flat, and they form a delicate lining. Why they form a delicate lining? Because cells are extremely thin. You can see. Now this is squamous epithelium, and what are the features, what are the properties of the cell here? Cells are extremely thin and cells are flat. These cells will have the journal, or this squamous tissue, squamous epithelial tissue will have the journal characteristic of epithelial tissue. Like here you can see the cells, they do not have intercellular spaces. All the cells are tightly joined. Okay, so these characteristics of the epithelial tissue will be same in different type of epithelial tissue, but these different type of epithelial tissue may have some one or two extra properties. Now in case of squamous epithelium, the cells are flat and the cells are very thin, so it forms a delicate lining, but it has the characteristic of the epithelial tissue, general characteristic, and that is the cells are tightly placed, they form a continuous layer, okay, and there is no intercellular space, okay. So see here, the esophagus and the inner lining of the mouth are covered by squamous epithelium, okay, so it forms a delicate lining. The skin which protects the body is also made up of squamous epithelium. Skin epithelial cells are arranged in many layers to prevent wear and tear. Since they are arranged in the pattern of layers, the epithelial is called stratified squamous epithelium. Now this squamous epithelium is also present in the skin, and in the skin it is present in layers. See, so many layers are there, and these layers are called strata. So that is why the squamous epithelial tissue present in the skin is called as stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified because it is present in many layers. Is it clear, students? Now you can see the organs where absorption of food or absorption of substances takes place, and secretion, or those organs where secretion takes place, okay, where some substances or some chemicals are secreted. So the organs where absorption of substances takes place or where secretion takes place, okay. Another type of a tissue called as columnar epithelium is present. Which epithelium is present? Columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelial tissue is present. It is present in those organs where secretion and absorption of substances takes place. Now here these columnar cells are tall. The cells are tall. Okay. Columnar means pillar-like. So columnar means the cells are tall epithelial tissue. Understood? Columnar, again I am saying columnar epithelial tissue means, columnar means tall, pillar-like means the cells are tall and it is an epithelial tissue, so it will have all the characteristics of it will have the characteristics of the cells of the epithelial tissue. That is, columnar cells are tall, but here then all the cells are tightly placed. There is no intercellular space and it forms a continuous covering, okay, and the cementing material is very thin, and where it is present in those organs where secretion and absorption takes place. So you need not have to learn anything, you just remember the properties of epithelial tissue, okay, and columnar epithelial tissue, long tall cells, and the properties of this, and where it is present in the organs where absorption and secretion takes place. Like it is present in the intestine, because in the intestine absorption of food takes place, okay. Inner lining of the intestine, tall epithelial cells are present. This columnar meaning pillar-like epithelial facilitates movement across the epithelial barrier. In the respiratory tract, the columnar epithelial tissue also has cilia, which has a hair-like projections on the outer surface of the epithelial cells. These cilia can move and their movement pushes the mucus forward to clear it. This type of epithelial tissue is called as ciliated columnar epithelium. Now students, in the respiratory tract, okay, in the respiratory tract, this is, you can see here, so this is columnar epithelium, the cells are tall, okay, and you can see it has a characteristic of epithelial tissue. Now in the respiratory tracts, they have this hair-like projections, and this hair-like projection is called as cilia, and it is present on the outer side of the cells, not on the inner side, okay. Now these cilia move, so when it moves, so whatever mucus is present in the respiratory tract, that mucus is pushed outward, okay. I hope it is clear. this is columnar epithelium. So okay, suppose this is the cells, columnar cells having cilia. Okay, so here also this is the columnar cells having cilia. So what will happen? They will move. So if any mucus is here, so that mucus is pushed outside, and in these places the columnar epithelium which has cilia is called as ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay, now there is another type of epithelial tissue which is called as cuboidal epithelial tissue. Cuboidal, as the name suggests, cuboidal means the cell are cube. They have a cube shaped cells, and epithelial tissue means all the cells are tightly packed with no intercellular space. Okay, now this cuboidal epithelium, the cells are cube shaped, and it forms the lining of the kidney tubules and ducts of salivary glands, and here it provides mechanical support. So main function of cuboidal epithelium is to provide mechanical support. Epithelial cells often now I will just tell you what is written here. Now cuboidal epithelium, you know, it provides mechanical support. Now this cuboidal epithelium at some places it folds inward. Okay, like this. It folds inward like here, like this. It folds like this inward. Okay, and it forms a gland. Okay, and here it's called as glandular epithelium. It secretes certain secretions. Now students, this was all about epithelium tissue. In the next class we will discuss about connective tissue, and then muscular tissue is left. After that we will start revision. Okay, so question answers also we will try to do question answers after I finish this chapter. So if you have any doubt, you can clarify your doubts. Thank you students. Have a nice